Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
I'm Glennon Doyle, author of Untamed and host of the podcast We Can Do Hard Things. Each week, we talk openly and honestly about the hard things in life together with you. So join us and some of our dearest friends and greatest heroes to talk about anxiety, boundaries, parenting, infidelity, our bodies, loving and losing, all of the things that make us human. Listen to and follow We Can Do Hard Things on Odyssey and everywhere you get your podcasts.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we toast an anonymous woman who sent one of those help letters to Dear Prudence. I will simply read to you what she wrote to Dear Prudence, and I'm someone who can relate, but from the other side of things. Dear Prudence, I came home early from work on Friday to the unexpected sound of the vacuum cleaner running in my 12-year-old son's room. Now, thinking perhaps this was a sign of the apocalypse, my son cleaning his room without major nagging on my part, I burst in there and I caught him with his pants down and the hose attached to his penis. He froze like a deer in the headlights, and after picking my jaw up off the floor, I mumbled something stupid like, excuse me, and I turned around and walked out and hid in my room. He left to go to his dad's for the weekend shortly thereafter. He'll be home tomorrow night after school, and I don't know what to say to him. Actually, do I have to say anything to him, or can I just act as though this never happened and not say anything at all? By the way, I much prefer option 2. What do you think? I know you didn't write this letter to me. Listen, let me tell you how it works. I was 15, not 12, tried the same thing. Sears vacuum cleaner, saw the tube, thought I was genius. Like, this makes sense. It doesn't work, 1. Mm-hmm. 2, my father didn't quite catch me, but it's obvious what had just happened before he managed to get my door open. And this is what we did. We never talked about it again. It was understood. And as I related this to VD, who works with us, I told him my story. I told him what the shot of the day was going to be. He said, look, I did the exact same thing at age 12. It doesn't work. Don't bring it up. Let it go. So, kids, listen. If you're going to grab the vacuum cleaner because you think you've stumbled on the genius, it doesn't work. And if it did work, we would have been talking about it for the last 16 years that we've been on the air. Like, just buy a vacuum, buy a Shark, a Dyson. Doesn't work. But I understand where this woman's coming from. Just let it go. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
Hey, Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
You bet your ass I can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story. Something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Anthony. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, bichola.
Hola. All right, Anthony, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes, I do.
That is fantastic, because I just explained it. So you already know you have your choice of one of 3 stories. We have The Wonderful World of Drugs. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? And finally, Interior Decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone.
Bite me.
Bite me.
Just eat it. Get yourself an egg and feed it.
All right, Anthony, here is your story. We go back to earlier this month, May 3rd, where a woman contacted Florida police to report that she believed a pair of sandwiches purchased at KFC contained something bad. The unidentified customer went to the Manatee County Sheriff's Office and told officials there that she bought the sandwiches from a Bradenton KFC, got home, unwrapped them, and made the unsettling discovery. Now, no arrests have been made in connection with the alleged food alteration, which is, quote, still under investigation. But the brief police report, which characterizes the matter as suspicious incidents, does not indicate whether the woman consumed any of the food. So we don't know if she just unwrapped it or if she actually took a bite. But since the woman provided cops with the chicken sandwiches, investigators were able to swab the food for possible biological evidence. Now, the investigation is currently ongoing. The question is, what are they swabbing these chicken sandwiches for? Is it blood, poop, semen, or phlegm? So blood, poop, semen, or phlegm, one of those, according to her, was found on her 2 chicken sandwiches.
I'm going to have to go with semen on this one.
That was quick.
You said blood, poop, semen?
Or phlegm. Mucus, whatever you want to call it. Snot rocket, lung butter.
She buys the sandwiches, gets home, notices this fluid on them.
And according to her, because both sandwiches are individually wrapped, and according to her, both sandwiches contain this.
Yeah. Man, that could be any of that.
Absolutely.
Phlegm, I feel like it's just harder to notice because it's just like a loogie in there.
It depends if the person's sick or not.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm sticking with semen.
Going semen, Ted? Anthony, what are you thinking?
I'm still sticking with semen, final answer.
Okay. Sticking with semen. Put that on a T-shirt and see if anyone takes it out of context.
I'm going to say, based on the fact that this person was at work, if they did tamper with it, I think, other than obviously blood and phlegm, but I think you could also have some poop. So I'm going to go poop. Poop, final answer for me. All right, we're going to find out what was in those delicious KFC chicken sandwiches. What is it, blood, poop, semen, or phlegm next?
That was a tease.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
Everything is better electrified. Like the guitar, toothbrushes, or cars. And Hyundai has a wide range of electrified vehicles, including the first ever Tucson and Santa Fe plug-in hybrid EVs. You can use electric when you want it or gas when you need it. It's your journey. Evolve it beyond the pump in the 2022 Tucson or Santa Fe plug-in hybrid EVs. Visit your nearest Hyundai dealer or learn more at HyundaiUSA.com. Only available in select states. Call 562-314-4603 for complete details.
We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Categories by me on profile. That's a woman who contacted police in Florida because something was in her 2 KFC chicken sandwiches. Don't think she took a bite, but investigators were able to take a swab of whatever that substance was. Question was, what did she believe, or maybe didn't even know, was in her sandwiches? Was it blood, poop, semen, or phlegm?
And Anthony, that is the very question that we posed to you. Let us start with Miles Montgomery.
Uh-oh.
You went with poop.
I did.
I mean, it's only somewhat disappointing, but I'm afraid, no, it was not poop. Now, Anthony, you came out of the gate swinging. You're like semen. You stuck with semen. Then, I believe, sticking with semen was the exact quote. And the Ted Smith, you picked semen. I don't know why, other than I know if it's an option, you're going to pick it.
Generally, yes.
Yes, I am.
Oh, correct.
No, it's not okay, but yes.
Isn't that fantastic, Anthony? This poor woman found semen in 2 separate KFC sandwiches. And you guessed right.
Why do you even have the time to do that?
Because now I know the answer because I had the story, but I was tracking more with Miles as far as the logic goes, going like, look, you're at work. You might be bleeding. It's a restaurant. You can spit in someone's burger. You could, sounds dumb. You have access to poop. I can't imagine that, like, I'm just going to... Like, who can do it that quick?
You want Southern honey glaze on that?
Colonel's special recipe.
Now for all the TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right, your choices: Seth Meyers, the Jimmies,
Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel,
or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
It is right there in the channel. All these guys have teams of talented writers that help them come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom? Or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
Mountain Dew is launching a birthday cake flavored drink called Mountain Dew Cake Smash. And on the can, the nutritional facts just say, come on.
Jimmy Fallon.
Seth Meyers.
Jimmy Fallon.
Mountain Dew is launching a birthday cake flavored drink called Mountain Dew Cake Smash. On the can, the nutrition facts just say, come on.
A story ran in the New York Post that stated Martha Stewart had 16 peacocks. Martha Stewart took to Twitter to call it fake news, as she has 21 of the birds, which she has described as glorious and keep a clean house. I can guarantee you her 21 peacocks have a nicer home than you do.
The Ted Smith. Kimmel.
Ted Smith.
Woo! Nice.
60 Minutes had a story on which they interviewed some very credible former Pentagon and military officials who had video and eyewitness accounts about objects that fly 13,000 miles per hour, and the government calls them unidentified aerial phenomenon. I feel like if this story had been on 60 Minutes in like 1988, it'd be the only thing we're talking about. But now it's like, yeah. I also heard that Bill Gates was trying to get freaky with one of his employees.
Fallon.
Kimmel.
60 Minutes had a story in which they interviewed some very credible former Pentagon and military officials who had video and eyewitness accounts of objects that fly 13,000 miles per hour. The government calls them unidentified aerial phenomena. I feel like if this story had been on 60 Minutes in like 1988, it would be the only thing we talk about for the next 30 years. Now it's like, I heard that. And I also heard Bill Gates was trying to get freaky with one of his employees, right?
He's right, man. It's like my whole life, UFOs were a big deal.
Yeah.
And then they released in the middle of the pandemic. People are like, yeah.
No, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's like you just found a dinosaur walking on a remote island.
Yeah, but Bill Gates.
Right.
The CDC has said for the new guidelines to work, people just need to be honest about their vaccination status.
Really? Sorry.
Yeah, people can't even tell the truth on their Tinder profiles.
I'll bet you, Ted.
I'm going to be Ted Smith.
It's Jimmy Fallon.
Trent, the director said that for the new guidelines to work, the CDC is asking Americans to be honest about their vaccination status. Really? People can't even tell the truth on their Tinder profiles. You're going to say everything? Come on.
Kind of interesting here, and I think I'm sure everybody in this room has some strong opinions on this. They're talking about most disappointing season finales.
Sure.
They took a vote on it. So the number one show that came up with was Lost.
I agree.
And you watched that whole thing.
Yeah, I watched every single episode they have. It was a pretty fantastic show. But
I guess,
the season. But to be fair, you knew the season finale was going to suck about 3 episodes out. As they were closing up all the storylines, you're like, oh, come on, man. Don't suck as bad as it looks like it's going to
suck. The top 3, I'm pretty sure you've watched all of them.
Seinfeld and Sopranos?
Nope. Not you.
Those
Thrill has seen.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So you had Lost.
I would say Game of Thrones.
Yes, that was second.
I disagree. I thought it wrapped up far. I had no problem with the end of that. I don't know why other people did. It's not worth a discussion. That said, I did not spend 8 seasons watching it. I started watching it after it completed its run. So I saw it real condensed.
This show I know you used to watch in your house. I don't know if you stuck through it to the end, though. How I Met Your Mother.
No, I made it through maybe a season or 2.
Yeah, that came in third. Miles, the other one's on there. I would have thought Sopranos would have been on there.
Yeah, I would like that end.
Sherlock was on there, Prison Break, and Dexter.
I've heard about Prison Break and Dexter. As far as the people that watch the shows religiously, they were definitely pissed off with how the shows ended.
I would just assume they'd break out of prison.
But I think not right. I don't remember what the premise of the show. I think he broke into prison to be with his brother who was wrongly accused or some crap. Okay. I don't know.
Right, and then I think they broke out.
Right.
But that was kind of always one of those things. Like Prison Break seems like we have a limited amount of stuff we can do with it.
There's only so much you can do, right? Well, it's like the show, what was it, 24? And I never watched 24. The people that watched 24 seemed to really enjoy it. But I can't remember if I was talking with VD about this, but we're saying, like, how many people did Kiefer Sutherland kill in one day? Because the premise of the show was that each episode was 1 hour of a 24-hour day.
Correct.
Right? So based on just what I saw in the commercials week to week, and I was like, we're running out of time, this, that, and the other, like, that had to be a very bad day. Like, I don't know that, but it seemed like he was always killing people, or there was a high-speed chase, but, like, that's a lot of carnage for one day, man.
Well, and, like, True Detective, I know a lot of people didn't like the second season as much, but it was also kind of cool to me that, like, it's the same name, but, like, they were totally different
they're
cases
anthology shows, right.
And different people, like, that are going to be the detectives.
Right.
Yeah.
There's other shows where the season finale was good. I just didn't know it was the end of the series. Do you know what I'm saying? Watchmen.
Oh, that is a great one.
Right,
I love Watchmen.
It
I had no
ended
idea.
great. I just didn't know it was the end of the series. And Ted's like, dude, it's a limited. Like, oh, God damn it.
There's a lot of shows that just find out that they're not going to be, re-upped. So you just watched their season finale, but you didn't know it.
Right. This one, I just didn't know that they designed for one season. So I'm like, no, it was a fine ending. And then I'm like, it's not coming back.
Right, that was the issue. Right, Watchmen was specific, like, just that. That was all they were going to do.
Whatever Katie Seagal show is, she's like, please bring us back. They had no idea that they're getting canceled. So they didn't end it like ended.
Right.
Yeah, she is not. She is not very happy about that. I don't blame her. But you're right. If you're gonna,
I guess there's a difference between a planned finale and when just the show going on, like Arrested Development the first time around, just went off the air. So it wasn't a planned finale. It was just like they just got canceled.
Well, and there's some shows too, like on streaming services that I do this all the time. It's like they're new to me, but I didn't realize, like, oh man, that's already 4 years old. Right. I've already passed the 3 season it has. So, but there's other ones that come back. I mean, obviously a lot of shows, the pandemic, a lot of things got stopped, and they just haven't been making as much stuff.
Right, production stuff. But it's hard, when you have shows, sitcoms, I think it's easier to have a finale. It's a sitcom. How I Met Your Mother's a little different because the premise is How I Met Your Mother, right? But as far as these hour-long dramas where week to week, it's not a whole different show. It's like Lost or Game of Thrones, the ones we're going on about. I think it's easier to disappoint your audience because you had to see the episode before to make any sense of what's happening now. It's a soap opera, essentially. So now you have to tie up all the storylines because you've been juggling them all and they're all related somehow. And it's real easy to fail at that.
Well, and look, Sopranos, I mean, I remember being, we were talking about it on the show all the time. Like, that's another one kind of leading up to it. I was like, this season sucks.
Sure.
But you still watched it because you were already
invested the time.
Right. Yeah, you were so committed to it. It's like, all right, I got to finish this. Plus, I mean, it sounds so crazy, but I mean, Sopranos is what? 13, 14 years ago?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
But it's just a different lifestyle. Like, now you can go watch shows almost whenever you want and everything.
Right.
Whereas that was very specific appointment watching, as they say. You know what I mean? And that was like what you did on a Sunday night.
And I think to this day, probably The Mandalorian is one of the few shows that still has that kind of a juice to it to the people who watch it. Because you'll start, basically, they release it on Friday at midnight on the East Coast. And if you just happen to be up, at 9 o'clock on a Friday night, like, everything comes in on the show because everybody's just waiting to watch it. So you gotta, if you want to not know what's going on, probably should stay off Twitter after 9 o'clock on Friday night when the show's on. That's what I discovered.
Yeah. Well, that's the tough part with Star Wars people.
And it's all over Twitter.
It's constant.
Anything Star Wars. I mean, poof, you will know about it.
Right, and nobody takes their time getting around to a Star Wars thing.
Mm-hmm. And it's one of the few things that Star Wars has done franchise-wise. They've done a few things lately, but people really like the show.
But you know what? I will say, I think we all kind of did the same thing with Cobra Kai.
Yeah, yep. It's another great show.
Like that one, I got into it, but then, man, I finished that thing
in zero time.
Yeah, right before Christmas. But it was hard not to talk about it. So I don't usually cut slack to the Star Wars nerds, but this time I go, all right, you're watching Mandalorian, you want to tweet about it, and it's just better on the West Coast. And you're right, like, if you were like, hey, we got to stay up till midnight on Friday to watch a TV show, not a sporting event. Right, I'm gonna be drunk, and there's a good chance I might already called it a night. That means that, hey, 9 p.m. for a sitcom.
I'm in.
I'm like, yeah, I'm in.
I got this.
Now, sporting event, I'll stay up to midnight because it's a sporting event.
Or you'll get up at 4:30 in the frickin' morning.
Yeah, I know. I got a big weekend coming up. That's some Spring Olympics and then Monaco. Sunday morning.
Spring Olympics?
Yeah. It's kind of like your regular Olympics. Think like yard Olympics. So like last weekend I was getting better at badminton and cornhole.
Okay, so these are the games that we would see in the Spring Olympics?
Right, I think we're doing badminton, cornhole, there's pool. Basically, like anything you can do holding a beer and then throwing something.
All right.
We're kind of doing.
Pong, maybe? Beer pong?
There might, I think there is beer pong, which I've been informed by the instructor of the tournament has a twist to it.
Aha. Have they explained a twist, or is that going to be game time?
It was in parentheses, and it said Pong with a twist.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, oh, God, that sounds fun, but it also makes me a little bit nervous.
It should.
But anyhow, yeah, if you like F1, this weekend's a massive one as they're racing at Monaco, which is the most, like, fancy,
That's the one,
cool.
sure.
Right, you don't have to know
That's
anything.
one where you said the tickets were, like, minimal, like $5, $10.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Like
I looked that up. I was like, I'll probably never go to that. But it's like, auto racing's a little different, too. It's like Daytona basically, like NASCAR basically says, hey, we got our Super Bowl at the start of the season.
Right. Absolutely.
And then like Monaco, which is the most famous F1 like race, but that doesn't happen to the middle. I mean, IndyCar's already racing, but Memorial Day weekend is the Indianapolis 500, so that's their big run.
Right.
Whereas I feel like the other sports kind of always wrap it up at the end.
Yeah, typically.
Yeah. Let's see. Speaking of things wrapping up, if you were watching Mixed-ish series finale. It's only been on for 2 seasons, but it got canceled, and then 7th season finale of Blackish. They'll have one more season, I believe, coming up in the fall. That'll kind of finish that one off.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You are listening to The Men's Room.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
Everything is better electrified. Like the guitar, toothbrushes, or cars. And Hyundai has a wide range of electrified vehicles, including the first ever Tucson and Santa Fe plug-in hybrid EVs. You can use electric when you want it or gas when you need it. It's your journey. Evolve it beyond the pump in the 2022 Tucson or Santa Fe plug-in hybrid EVs. Visit your nearest Hyundai dealer or learn more at HyundaiUSA.com. Only available in select states. Call 562-314-4603 for complete details.
Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. As we head to Florida, where a Florida man goes to Walmart, picks up a case of soda, then accidentally shoots himself in the thigh. Meanwhile, a neighbor politely asks a woman to shut the window when serving her delicious pie. Man gets drunk and throws bucket of urine at girlfriend when she says no to sex. Vegan mom mad at ex-husband for giving child nuggets that look like T-Rex. And an Arizona woman tries to convince cops that anyone, would want to have sex with her. It's time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
All right, top story. We go to Florida, where a man had a bad time shopping. The man was in a local Walmart and bent down to pick up a case of soda. Unfortunately for him, the unholstered gun that he had in his waistband discharged at this point in time, shooting him in the upper right thigh. Witnesses saw the man pull the gun from his waist and slide it to his brother across the aisle, and when he couldn't provide officers with proof of a concealed carry license, he was arrested and charged.
Unless you're throwing a party at your house, maybe. Couldn't you remember the last time you went in and bought a case of soda? 12-pack, yes.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll pick up a 12-pack every once in a while. Not often.
When I was younger, I used to pick up cases.
But a case of soda?
Yeah.
I'm curious what the hell he bought, to be honest with you. You really like this soda.
Man, when I was younger, though, we'd roll through Costco, and they had big old cases of soda. We picked those up all the time. Then again,
you got a sister family, right?
Right.
And some people just drink soda.
Yeah.
Sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
I'd drink more soda if I didn't drink beer.
That's facts. I'm with you.
I mean, I'm just saying, like,
I drink it, but it's all the beer, you know. So.
I mean, that's why I drink water and beer. You can't have the soda, too.
I'm right there with you, man. I don't drink a lot of soda, but drink a lot of beer, a lot of water.
But every time I do, I'm like, man, this Coke is delicious.
It is, every time.
Yeah, right.
God damn, this is good. But it's unhealthy. Give me another beer.
I know. I rifle beers on the weekend, but I got a 20-ounce bottle of Sprite been sitting there for 3 weeks.
Just liquid sugar, man. I can't be doing this. In other news, someone took a subtle approach to letting their neighbor know that they've had enough. Someone posted a photo on the internet of a note that was left by the person that tells you all that you need to know. It was posted in a living complex and simply reads, quote, to the woman who has extremely loud orgasms, while we are very happy for you, could you please close your window and maybe consider your neighbors?
That's actually a very kind note.
Can you imagine
really
if it was the dude?
Oh, that was me. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They wouldn't think that he was having sex.
I'm the man.
I'm the man.
Actually, I live alone. I was just masturbating.
Goodness gracious. Classic story out of South Carolina. A man came home drunk one evening and got into an argument with his girlfriend about, quote, favors that needed to be done. The two continued to boil to the point that he armed himself with a bucket, which he uses to relieve himself, and doused said girlfriend with his own urine.
He's a classy dude. So they've been dating for 4 years. They've been living together for 5 months. And she's talking to the cops. Well, yeah, he threw a bucket of pee on me. Where'd he get a bucket of pee? She's like, oh, he pees in a bucket.
God.
Like,
wow.
Okay.
Pulls the Eastwood. I like it.
Okay, that's the man for me.
That's right. Way to pick him. The UK made a feeble ask of its people as it continues to its own loosening of restrictions. Brits all took to town to celebrate their new freedom as bars and pubs are finally back and open to the public to drink inside. But with this newfound allowance by their leaders, also comes a request to not, quote, drink too much.
Come on. Do you not even know the country you're in?
You've opened the doors for the first time in how long, and you're expecting them to go easy?
Look, if any country that serves alcohol, when you open all the doors, that country is going to be drunk that day.
Right.
Just count on that.
And I would even attest that if a single person was going to the bar, okay, maybe they wouldn't get too drunk. You know,
maybe.
But when you put them into a crowd of other people, then issues happen.
And everyone's going to be real celebratory. So even if you go there solo, everyone's still happy to see you whether they know you or not.
Right. You know, I have found an issue that I can go home and I can open up my fridge and I will have a beer or two and then my night is done. If I'm hanging out with the Ted Smith, I'm down in 5 of them before I leave. In
same
2 hours.
Home, same fridge.
That's right. But it's
the truth, yeah. When there's other people around, it's like, let's get it.
Hell yeah. We should all get paid what we're worth, but one woman in Arizona may have overestimated hers. She was found in a car that was reported stolen by police. And when questioned about being inside the stolen car, she told him that she had actually been given the car 3 days ago by a man that she had slept with, apparently in exchange for said car. The owner said that she didn't know her at all and never made such an exchange.
Look, I saw her mugshot, and I'm like, that's a lie. In fact, if I'm the attorney, I'd be like, I want to enter into evidence her face.
There's no damn way. And that is it for your headlines with that. Mike Hawkins out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time for the return of Who Sucks Less. The lovely Taryn Daly's up next.
Yes, indeed, it is all true. But in the meantime, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Letha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.